Awesome. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. I just thought with everything on and the TMC7 being so brand new, we could have a look-see together at all of the features and benefits of the TM7. Now, it can be an interactive session. I'm absolutely fine for anybody to come off of mute and have a chat, ask a question, all of that. This is your session for you to learn. I have recorded it so that I will send it out after the session has ended, just in case there was something you needed to look at or wanted to show someone, etc. Now, my name's Michelle Noonan, and I'm a team leader in Victoria. I do, like many consultants, we sell and support throughout Australia, which is lovely to be virtually able to do that now. We do a lot of things in person. I have been a consultant for 9 years, and to be honest, a team leader for a lot of that. I really love the business. This is the third Thermomix model that I've had the pleasure of introducing to my customers, which I just love. My customers will know I get super, super excited when there's any kind of amazing offers for you on. So, let alone a new model. So this is quite fun. You can pop in the chat if you want to ask a question. I'd probably prefer you to come off mute if you can, but absolutely fine. And I'll loop back at the end and answer any questions. So I might be a little bit chat heavy from my side of things, just to go through all the ins and outs of the TM7. If I'm explaining something and you have a question, just shout out though. Okay. All right. So I'll get my face out of the way and you can just see the TM7 because that's what you're here for. As much as it's lovely to have a chat, let's go through the ins and outs of the TM7. Now, to look at it, it's similar but different. So you'll notice the first thing is the Varoma. The Varoma is a completely different, it's a new design shape. It's what we like to call sort of squoval, like a rectangle with rounded edges. So that's really lovely there. Just like that. So similar but different. It's a lovely space. It sucks really well in the cupboard and fits 45% more in there. So that's one massive feature that can hold far more. So I'll pop that to the side. Now, the TM7 itself, we have this cap on the top now, not a cup. It sort of works the same. It still allows, there's still holes in the lid, which allow you to emulsify oil or separate eggs, etc. And the cap just sits on like that and stays on. Now, one good thing about that is if you did forget to put it, unless you're sort of chopping or whisking high, you've got a second to be able to put it on. Not like when it was an open sort of space there, that would give you a free shower on whatever you were doing. So that's that. Now, the other thing is the spatula. So the spatula has a completely redesigned shape that is designed to scoop the edge of the bowl really well. It still has the same hook feature for your simmer basket. So that's not changed. The simmer basket has a lid. So depending on what model you have, you may or may not have a lid, but that's there for safety. So basically what the lid does, all good? What the lid does is it stops it from blocking the space. So it's a safety feature to have the lid on it. So you can fill this full and know that it's okay if you fill it. Once you put the lid on, there is still space for the steam to escape. So that's a safety feature. That's why that's been added. The spatula also goes in like that. So you can open and shut the lid. And like I said, you can take it out when it's hot, the same way as you do any other model. The trajectory is slightly higher when you do it. So it's more up like that rather than down how it used to be. Otherwise, very similar. You don't get asked to put this on the lid anymore. The only thing you ever use is the cap or the Varoma on the lid. The lid you'll see a bit more robust. It's got this lovely ergonomic design to it, which is lovely. Now underneath, it's the same thing. You've got your seal built in. Now that doesn't come out. It doesn't need changing. It's just there. Just sits on just like that. Now it's a magnetic lock lid. So when you're going up to speed 2, you can have a look-see and shut it again. And the recipe will stop and restart. So you can go up. Is it mixing? Yes, we're all good. Or did I put that in? Yes, we're all good. You cook like me. So that's the lid. Now, one of the biggest features that you will notice is this beautiful black casing that it's got, which ensures that it is far, far, far quieter and it is cool to touch. So it doesn't get hot anymore, which is a really nice little feature to have. Taking it off the base is straight up off the base. Inside looks very similar to our, our known and loved and tried and tested Thermomix bulb. This lever on the side though, you push that and that's what releases the blade. Once the blade's out, you can put this in the dishwasher or whatever you want to do with it. This part doesn't need to go in the dishwasher. I just always leave it on the base upside down like that to avoid any teenagers, husbands, other people in the house from jamming it down onto the base or anything silly like that because, they're very strong sometimes. This looks very similar, just without the handle in the way. So what that means is when you do put it in the dishwasher, because you can, obviously there's pre-clean functions and whatnot, but if you want to put it in the dishwasher, it doesn't have the handle taking up the space. There's not that pin to fall out. These pins can get wet. They just must be dry to go in, same as what you've got. Just giving it a dry with a tea towel is sufficient. So to put it back, it's just like that. And then you put the blade in, you're just doing what you did on reverse. And then I always have a habit of doing that to make sure any Thermomix model I've ever had, I've always done that to make sure that it's in right. Now, this on the screen can get a bit dirty. What's great about that, because I actually panicked when I got it. I thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to keep it clean? It doesn't get as dirty as you think it will. And one wipe here, and then down the screen, and then I get my tea towel and do that, and it comes up beautiful. So it's actually really quite easy to clean, and that just goes on the base just like that. So easy. You'll notice the green light. Now, this is a little bit fun because when it heats up, it goes from green to yellow to orange to red. So obviously when it hits that over 60 degrees, it goes to the red. And that's a great little feature there and a great reminder for anybody cooking, especially if kids are going to help you, etc. That way they know when they do open the lid, and I'm just going to say this, always opening it that way and then upside down and away when it's hot, just to keep things safe. Now, the other so butterfly looks very similar. It is exactly pretty much the same, never above speed 4, same there. So that hasn't changed too much. The spatula, the other thing with the spatula I haven't mentioned is when you've got your dough and you tip your dough out on the bench and you know how you turn this, and if you don't, this is what you do. You have it upside down and you turn this to get it to release the dough so you don't have to put your hand in around the blades where it's not very safe. You can also use the bottom of the spatula now to do that. So nice little trick there and a lovely little addition to that because, to be honest, if you've got issues with your hands, sometimes doing that carpal tunnel, it really hurts to do that and grip it. So that's a really good little option there. All right, so that's the on-off buttons here. Now, of course, we've got the 10-inch screen. So it's exactly like using Cookie Do on an iPad. You use it to cook. It's pretty cool. Now, on the actual screen, I've tried to squeeze you in my little trashed office because it's been so busy lately. So excuse me while I drag you a little bit closer there. Hopefully you can see. So that's your on-off button here. This screen can be sized. So you've got the choice of 3 different screens, one that's more just tools, one that's more inspiration. This is a mixture of the two, and I really prefer this one because it tells me some of my planned recipes and it gives me some shortcuts to some of the modes I use the most. So for me, I use my week, so the planner, pre-clean, egg boiler, and browning. They're the ones I use the most, but I can change those at any point. If I find I'm not boiling eggs for whatever reason, but I want to put, I don't know, fermentation there, I can. Now, if I scroll down, it's exactly the same as Cookie Do. You've got your bookmarks and then you're recently cooked. So you can go, oh, I didn't put this in a folder, but I want to make that again. So you just click on it and it takes you through to the recipe. Now, again, it looks exactly like it does on the Cookie Do app. If you don't have Cookie Do and have no idea what I'm on about, please, and I'll put this in a follow-up email afterwards, so no need to scurry for a pen. Please go to cookiedoo.com.au and sign up for the free 30-day trial and just have a play. Because even if it's suitable for anybody. If you're a super planner or you're not, it's going to help you, especially with life getting busy. It really is a godsend. So say I wanted to have a look, I can look at tips and it takes me straight to the tips. I can add my own notes to it. I can go back to the overview and press start. Now, when you press start, it tells you how many portions and whatever, exactly like you see on Cookie Do. So this one's probably the worst one I could have clicked on. It tells me put a sealable container on top of the lid because I'm going to weigh something in. Can you see the scales? How fun's that? Look at that. It's like old-fashioned scale sort of visual there, which is quite fun. Please ignore the scale moving because I'm touching the cord with my other arm. Now, you can see the list of ingredients here. I just either tick them off, or if I hit 10 grams or a little bit over, it'll go green and tick it off for me. Then it moves on to the next one. So it's quite clever, but either way, ticking it off is quite quick. So, and if you had something that said 1 carrot, you would just tick the box and press next. Then it tells you the next steps, add a garlic clove. Yep, next, chop. So you're putting it into chop now. I'm just going to make sure, yeah, nothing in there. I'd hate to show you and chop my butterfly or something silly. So it says chop for 5 seconds on speed 8. All I do is press play and it does it. And I can stop it or move on to the next step. The great thing about Cookie Do on the TM7 is, I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm in a recipe and I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't understand why I'm doing this. And I can scroll ahead and go, haha, okay, now I know why, and click back to current step. So it's just so easy. There's a little marker on the side here that tells you what step out of how many. You can go backwards and forwards and mark it as your current step. It's very, very easy to use. Now, please remember, when you get your TM7, you get a full delivery briefing. So don't worry if tonight you're like, hang on, she just spoke at me for an hour straight or 40 minutes straight or however long I take. Now, scrolling down the top here, I can cancel that recipe that way. There's also a shortcut to a timer, scales, or a pre-clean. So if I hit the back button, this was back where we were. It was showing me, and then it shows me trending now. So this is great for inspiration. You can go, okay, let's have a look and see. Oh, that looks delicious. I'm going to make pumpkin and ginger soup and press start. Or you can go to the 3 dots at the top and add it to your week or your shopping list. Go, okay, I need that on my shopping list because I'm going to make it, adding it to tomorrow. Save. So then it's in your planned recipes. Now, I'll show you that the My Week in a minute. We'll just go through each screen so I don't jump around too much and confuse you if you haven't used Cookie Do before. Everyday recipes for you, some more inspiration, and here's where you can edit your home screen and add different shortcuts to those modes. So I like daily inspiration. I like organising myself. I like having tools handy. So you can choose. I like the middle one. And then here it gives me little pencils so I can change those to suit me, which is huge. There's nothing worse than scrolling through a whole heap of things that don't matter to you. I should add, it's still 10,700 RPM. The difference with this, it's super quiet because of the casing and it's got a synchronous motor now. So you don't actually hear the motor running. You hear the contents once it hits about speed 4, depending what you're cooking. But most of the time, it's like a hybrid car. You got to see if the lights are on and it's counting down to know that it's actually cooking. It's super quiet, which is a huge, huge game changer. In particular, if you're used to a 31 or a 5, it will be a massive game changer for you. Look, even compared to the TM6 that I have, it's huge. I much, much prefer it because, sometimes it is, when you're doing things like Parmesan or chocolate, it's always going to be a louder thing, but this just takes the edge off it quite nicely. And like I said, under speed 4-ish, it's almost non-existent depending on what you're cooking. So we've still got the 2.2 litre stainless steel bowl. It works with Wi-Fi. It's got Bluetooth too, because there's a new feature where when it's finished, it'll ding on your phone as well. So if you're out the back watering the garden, you're chatting to the neighbor, it'll seem to tell you on your phone that it's finished, which is it's nice little feature. Um, like I said, Cookie Do, you've got your guided cooking as well as your open cooking. So you can do guided or manual. Um, in terms of let's go down here. If I go here to the mode screen, so this, depending on what model you've got, um, we've got manual mode. So you can still cook manual recipes. There's nothing stopping you do it. You just go, okay, I want 10 seconds. There's some shortcuts down the bottom. I want to add another 5 to that, whatever. Temperature, speed. Because I've got it above speed 6 here, it won't let me add a temperature. So it's a safety feature. If I bring it down to speed 2, it'll happily let me do it at 100 degrees. So over speed 6, it won't let you do it, which is how a Thermomix has always been. This has just got a little bit more of a stop built into it. Now, all of these screens, all of these modes actually have tips. So if you're not sure, here it says to add a litre of water, dishwashing liquid or vinegar, and away you go. So that's for pre-clean. If you don't know what pre-clean is, it's a godsend. It's lovely. Quick is just a quick wishy-wash, kind of like what you would have in turbo. Universal is what I use probably the most. Dough mode is 37 degrees because if it gets too hot, it makes the dough stick more. And then browning and fat and caramel. Now, browning is something I do a lot in my Thermomix, and it's a mode now. So this is a massive difference. You can just go, and I often do, I'm going to have hamburger night or whatever it might be, or a barbecue. I love my onions in wedges personally. So I put a dash of oil and my onions in, and I go however many minutes, depending on what I've got. I like them done quite well, and then I just press play, and it'll do it. So whereas in the TM6 you had to piggyback off a recipe, and the TM5 and 31 does not do high heat. I cannot stress to you enough what a difference in flavour it is when you do a recipe and it's using the high heat. Rather than a stewed onion, you're getting a proper saute, and that's exactly where the flavour is. So then you're doing the pre-clean for browning with some vinegar in it, and it just helps lift it all up. Once it's finished, take the blade out, you give it a wipe with the scrubby. Now, personally, I do gift my customers a scrubby with their Thermomix so that they know how to clean it properly. But you can pick them up at any kitchenware shop as well as the Thermomix shop, Harris Scarf, or is it Freedom, all those places, and it's called a Euro scrubby. But if you're putting in a mix shop order, throw it in your cart. They can be reused and put in the dishwasher, etc. So quite good. Steaming here, that's a new little feature where you can choose if you're using the Varoma, the simmer basket, or the Varoma and the simmer basket. You've got turbo as usual, blend mode, popping everything in and letting it blend a smoothie. Egg boiler is very clever, so it doesn't move the blades. You can put a litre of water and up to 6 eggs, and you choose how you want them done and press OK. Again, you've got your tips in the top corner that go through detail, so you're not guessing. Open cooking is a huge new feature. So up to 100 degrees and speed 2, you can let to 100 degrees, sorry, you can let it bubble away. The blades don't move, it just simmers, which is, some recipes, you've got an old faithful recipe that you'd like to do, you can just finish it off open. So that's a really fun feature. So we've still got kettle mode warm up, rice cooker, thicken, slow cook, fermentation, sous vide, peeler. So that's the blade cover. Now, and that fits. So blade covers that fit the 5 and the 6 will fit the 7. Then we've got the greatest slicer and spiralizing. So that's coming. That's an extra that will be coming, just like it came around, I can't remember how long ago now. With the TM5 and 6, there is one for the 7 where it's all built into one, which is quite fun. Now, if you go down here, you've got your week. So you can see what meals you've got planned for the week. And you can change them around a little bit. You can do what you want with them via the 3 dots. Add it to the shopping list, move it to another day or remove it. So that's very, very useful. Now, settings as well, I should say with your shopping list, the idea is you do your meal plan for the week, you hit shopping list, but not only so, and this is in a cookie do session, but I'm just going to let you know it's possible. Once it's in the shopping list, you can actually export it quite easily. You just hit the order ingredients now, and it takes you through to Woolworths Online, where you can pop other things in your cart and do the whole week's shop, click and collect, delivery, however you shop. Now, in the settings, you can search for updates. So, if you're about to cook and it wants an update, you can say later. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth sounds, you can change how long it sings for and how loud it sings for. Display and font. Now, this might be useful for some of you. You can make the font larger and you can change the brightness. Now, scales and cooking. Now, imperial or metric, you can choose there. Remote access is what I was talking about, where it tells you on your phone. So, yeah. Now, I'm just going to stop for a second. Has anybody got any questions? Oh, I just thought of something, sorry. And it weighs in 1 gram increments. The 31 and the 5, I think, were 5 gram increments. So you get more precision with this one. Any questions? No?
Yeah, hi. I've got a question, Michelle. I'm upgrading from an old TM31. Do you need a special dough hook?
No. Who am I speaking to? Sorry?
My name's Michelle as well. Hi.
Oh, well, that's easy to remember, isn't it? No, so you don't need any extra accessories other than what's here, or if you wanted the grater and cutter down the track.
Sure.
So
And how long do you think before they come out, do you think?
Oh, we should be hearing something in the next week about when they're due. So it shouldn't be long at all. Yeah. So
and
that's
the special scrubby thing that you were talking about.
Yeah, I should have grabbed one. I'm not kidding. If you could see how I've kamikazed myself into the office here, which is quite funny, but just give me 2 seconds.
Just
and I'll grab one from the cupboard.
See the type that you use.
Yeah. They're just a game changer, I find, for cleaning the TM7. So that's the Europe Scrubby.
Yep,
I really recommend this brand rather than the rip-off ones. They are made from, I believe, recycled plastic. And like I said, you just pop them in your cutlery tray every night when I do the dishes, after the children have pretended to do the dishes. I put this in the top cutlery drawer and let it wash. And I've had mine going, like, honestly, I lose them because I take them to a cooking class or something. I lose them before I need to replace them. They just keep going. So, yeah, if you're like being a little bit worried about how to clean with the high heat, it's definitely a great option. And, for $7 or $8 or however much they are, it's awesome to have it ready.
Yeah. Mine's been delivered and I've used it once and I was too frightened to put it in.
Oh, yes. So all dishwasher safe, obviously, except this outer casing and except the base here. Everything else can go in the dishwasher. I know some TM31 customers were really terrified about the whole dishwasher thing. And some TM5s, back then, some consultants were very adamant not to put them in the dishwasher, but they're absolutely fine. You can read your instruction manual and it says it can go in there. So if you were to have any issues, it would be covered.
Okay. Yeah, mine's just been delivered, but my consultant isn't able to. I'm waiting for a friend to come back from holidays before she comes and does the install demo for me, so that I think my friend might buy one as well.
Oh, that's exciting. Well, that'll be lovely. You can get some post rewards for that.
Yeah, so I use something and using it with
no trauma.
Great. Yeah, it's amazing compared to the TM31.
The brown would be like a spaceship compared to the TM31. Absolutely. I would buy this machine over and over again based on the difference in the flavour from having that high heat. It's just, to me, that's just amazing.
Yeah, I loved your tip about onions.
Which tip? I love onions.
Yeah, about cooking the onions in there instead of the barbecue.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I don't know about you, but my barbecue gets quite full. And then, I'm in and out, whereas I can just set onions off on the Thermomix and go outside and finish do the barbecue and come in and they're ready.
Brilliant idea.
Because otherwise you cook the barbecue and then you forget the onions and go, oh my gosh. So yeah, it's a nice way to do it. And just, with the Thermomix in general, look, we're very hard on ourselves. And if you're considering upgrading or getting a Thermomix, it's not something, look, it's an investment, but it's not something that you're going to lose or not be able to use overnight or anytime soon. Like you're saying, you got a TM31. How old is that?
Look, it'd be, I reckon, about 18 years, nearly 20. It'd be
Yep.
nearly 20 years.
Yeah,
And it's still perfect.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what we need to sort of remember though is whatever you make, and especially when you first get your Thermomix, whether it's a new model or it's your first Thermomix, stop and think, what can you do in the Thermomix? It's just retraining your mind to go, okay, oh, I don't know, I needed icing sugar. I could just mill it with 10 seconds. Or like with me with the onions, you can do bits. You don't have to do it whole meal in it every single night. It's okay. Like,
Yeah.
we don't get sad if we don't use our washing machine one day. We're excited about that. And sometimes washing machines and that cost just as much. But yeah, it's just taking the pressure off and seeing how you can use it to help you and make your life easier rather than putting pressure on yourself.
I'm going to
Because I hear it a lot.
more because it's because of the cookie dough. Like TM31, I never used cookie dough, and
Yes.
I think I'm going to use it so much more. I'm going to use the TM7 so much more because of cookie dough.
You really do. And look, I started in the TM5, and if I wasn't a consultant, I probably actually wouldn't have used it much because I found it difficult. It was kind of a stepping stone. And until you get a 6 or a 7, or especially the 7, you don't know how different it is. And it just kind of makes sense now. All the little things, the key and cookie dough coming in, it makes sense now the way it's been done. So yeah, yeah, and the big screen is amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, lovely.
Any other questions? Have we got anything else? No? That's it. Nothing else. I'm trying to think what else, if I've got anything else that I was going to tell you. Because it's been a long day. I'm going to stop the recording there and say goodbye to those on the recording so that we can just double check in if there's any questions. Any more questions? There we go. Thanks for joining.